this school on Tuesday the 30th of August 2022. Yeah, this might be the first time that I've had nothing to say for driving it, because it was weird. It was from 10 to about 5 to 11, and we just did the stuff that we normally do for the first, say, 35 minutes. You know, go on. I don't think where I went first. So yeah, 3-point turn outside of Arts shopping centre. Then I would go to past Regent and up to the DVLA, but instead of immediately doing that, I turned right and right again into the park, the car park to the left of the cinema, and reversed into a couple of parking spaces there. Then went to past Regent up the DVLA. Then start going in the direction that I would normally go in at the very end of the lesson. So from the DVLA to into town, take a right, so and go down the one-way street. Like for an aid to help you know where I am at this point. The Gaze Chinese, like to the right of that. Well, by right of it and by left of the cinema, I mean if you're looking at it from across the road. Anyway, so do that. Go instead of going straight from the one-way street, you turn right and then left. Then that's where I am. But so if you go left, you go straight. But instead of going straight, I went right. Then straight again. Then to like a sort of foresty area that I haven't been in months. I haven't been there in months. Turn left, so I was back on that sort of path then into like another one-way street. It's just a bunch of places that I just didn't recognise, and then eventually it was over. So as I said, not really anything to talk about. So it's Twitter as of 6 to lunchtime. 11:54 a.m. Anyway, I stand with J.K. Rowling. I found that the people tweeting this out don't actually stand with J.K. Rowling. The tweets are going to be like, people who tweet hashtag I stand with J.K. Rowling are standing with transphobia. Yes. Like, what's your point? You're gonna sound like a bad thing. Yeah, I agree with Karen here. Oh no, they'll agree with Karen, whatever. Actually, that's okay. Right, that is a bit weird. So, like, Dave Chappelle had his 2 Netflix specials, and the first one was quite a bit of protest because he's transphobic. Despite the fact that, as far as I know, that special had an opening with a trans comedian. But anyway. And eventually they stopped because they were busy talking about how the Joker is gonna like make incels kill women, because they released around the same time. But anyway, then he had his second one last year, And yet people like literally protesting outside the Netflix offices, and Netflix defended him, which was surprising considering it's the same company that made the Resident Evil show. But yeah, eventually they gave up for Ricky Gervais. There's a little bit of controversy, but it was like a day's worth. Oh, and there was also about a week's worth of controversy for Jimmy Carr, but he didn't make trans jokes, he made Holocaust jokes. With KK Rowling, the hate has been non-stop for however long. This person said 3 years, so I'll guess 3 years. So yeah, notice that as well. But it's almost as if this is a men's rights movement to start losing steam whenever women aren't the target. You're right, but I would have worded it differently. Men want to integrate into the women's rights movement. That's why trans should not be part of the lesbian, gay, and bisexual movement. Dumbass. I'm not calling Ryan a dumbass here, I'm calling the non-TERF radical feminists. You know, the TERFs, trans inclusionary radical feminists, to don't include trans people because they're going to take over your movement. It's going to be a men's rights movement, but just the men are, you know, in dresses and wigs and stuff. Yeah, great new disease dropped. What is BA5? Oh. Either BA5 is another name for corona or it's a new variant. Yeah, I heard that Megan. Sorry about that. My brother needed me to take out my disc out of the Xbox because I call it wires in. Playing in the club. And he bought FIFA 17 today because he wanted to play the story mode, the journey or whatever the hell it's called. But anyway, so yeah, I heard that Megan Thee Stallion is going to be in She-Hulk. And this is something that we've known for a while. Well, I didn't, but apparently that there was photos that leaked a while back showing her on a Marvel set. We just didn't know what set it was, and it turns out it's She-Hulk. I don't know who she's going to play though, and for the love of God, Marvel, do not hire musicians, especially crappy musicians, as actors, because this isn't the first time I've done it, considering Harry Styles was in Eternals, and yeah, it was a cameo in the post-credit scene, but like that cameo was most likely going to evolve into something bigger. Charlie Kirk is fill in the blank, racist, sexist, transphobic, homophobic. Let's see. You trust the lawyers? But what if the lawyers end up saying, as you can see, dear jury, the evidence that Dash Dabrowski, can't name is that. Yeah, as you can see, the evidence that Dash Dabrowski has killed his wife is irrefutable. What if the lawyer said that? Would you agree with them? Would you be like, yeah, that's a real life sentence? No, you wouldn't. I know it's all the same, I just wanted to do a bit. But just because the lawyers have said that, you know, it's... What was it? Lawyers said that Trump is guilty. They need to provide evidence. Like, what has Trump done that violates the Espionage Act? I don't even know what the Espionage Act is. So provide an explanation of that, and then provide evidence of Trump breaking it, because if the evidence is something like Trump put out a mean tweet, then that's not really, in the Espionage Act, is something physical, I guess. Then, yeah, Trump didn't break the Espionage Act on that evidence. Now, about Cal Rittenhouse, was he a high school dropout, or was he kicked out because they didn't want, like, his name to affect the school? Like, say he went to Harvard. I don't know if Harvard is in high school, but I'm just gonna say it for now. Harvard would have kicked him out because if the mob found out he went to Harvard, they'd be attacking Harvard, going, "Why are you platforming this man? Why are you letting this man get an education, etc.?" Which honestly sounds like something the Nazis would say, but when it comes to everyone else, this might be the reason for some of them, might be all of them, might be none of them, but I bet that most, if not all of them, dropped out of college because they realised that it's just a bunch of left-wing bollocks. That it's supposed to be you're supposed to... Right, a college is supposed to be a place where you become political, but it's supposed to be neutral at the same time. Like, you can have centrist opinions, light, left, right, far left, far right, authoritarian, libertarian, communist, anarchist, capitalist, and all those. And the school will do nothing about it as long as they're just opinions. But now it's, if you say something even light left, you're kicked out immediately. Like, I could say abortion should be safe, legal, and they'd be like, okay, fine. But I say rare, that's me gone. But, yeah, abortion is supposed to be safe, legal, and rare. And I don't know if I can point this out because I didn't know at the time, but like there's footage of Hillary Clinton from like 2008 talking about abortion, saying safe, legal, and rare, but sometime in the past 7 years she dropped the rare. Bit weird. I'm a bit afraid of saying this man's name because I might get taken down for harassing disabled people, but this is the username this guy has picked. Young Trip has put up a post saying some scrap. Didn't actually read it, but it sounds like he is either gonna kill himself or just leave the internet. I'm what he's gonna leave the internet, but I don't know because I didn't actually read the full thing. I just like glimpsed at it, and I only know him because like he got involved a lot in the Twitter arguments that were constantly happening in 2019 and 2020. Like, he was heavily involved in the Alinity situation. If that's the girl that threw your cat, I don't remember. It's been 3 years since that happened. Christ. It's been 3 years. That's the only reason why I know him. So glad I never got the redacted medical procedure currently prohibited from discussion by the algorithm. Same. I'm got a student loan. If I have to pay it back, I'm gonna be so mad. This comic is about bad choices. There's nothing wrong with being passionate about nature, but sometimes it can be taken a little too far. Like today's Mad Lad, I wanted to send a message, literally. Ted Kaczynski. As far as I know, this man is the Unabomber. But I thought that Marcus was going to do people that don't really have anything, like any big biopics or documentaries or anything. Like he wouldn't do, Joe Exotic, because the Netflix documentary was so big. There's no point in doing it. And Manhunt Unabomber was kind of big as well. I seen the first episode of it and didn't like it, so maybe this will be more entertaining. Because I watch these for entertainment. I haven't seen it yet because I want to watch all of Summoning Salt's videos, because I only started watching his videos recently. I'm currently on history of Super Mario 64 16-star world records, but I've nearly finished it. So after that, I have 4 videos left, and then there's a Spider Dash video I need to watch. I think I saved something last night that I'm gonna watch later. I need to watch. Then I also want to watch everything of Only Murders in the Building, Owl House, and Amphibia that's on Disney Plus. I probably shouldn't have mentioned Amphibia because maybe, hopefully, that everything left. So, final review coming soon, I guess. Why are there always so many arrests at Notting Hill Carnival? Lizzo left her $26 million home and arrived at the VMAs in a private jet. Sorry, her private jet. To tell us how oppressed she was. So the government have, after 2 years, changed the recommendations now, claiming those who are pregnant or breastfeeding should not be taking the vax. Too little, too late for some. Murder investigation launched after a young man lost his life after being stabbed to death outside Ladbroke Grove Station at the Notting Hill Carnival. And this isn't going to get mentioned on the news, is it? This photo of you remove the police tape looks like something out of like an apocalypse movie. Like it honestly looks like something out of 28 Days Later. Anyway, most predictable thing ever.
Oh my God! Oh! No, 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 no! No! No way! No fucking way! Yeah!
What a cunt. Can I translate it? Okay. Fight you scared at London Carnival. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis warned that unless there is a reckoning when Republicans take back control of the House and or the Senate, authoritarians like Anthony Fauci will continue to implement harsher lockdowns. Honestly, we need Fauci to be locked up in the most secure prison that we have. Like one specially made for him, where he can't do anything to kill himself, and it's impossible for him to be killed. And then Republicans come in, hopefully, and they just go hard on him. Like full blown interrogation. I'm not talking about like torture or anything, I'm talking legal methods, but he pours his heart out about the almost 8 billion human rights violations that he committed. We're going cashless from the 1st of October 2022. We'll only be accepting card, contactless, and Starbucks rewards payments. But those conspiracy theorists are lolcows, aren't they? Almost a quarter of Brits say they will refuse to turn on the heating this winter because the skyrocketing cost of energy has become unaffordable. Whoever this is, how come migrants are allowed to come into this country unvaccinated, but world-class tennis players are not? Senator Lindsey Graham declared there will be riots in the streets if the FBI brings criminal charges against Donald Trump.